Hey, IronPigs fans, Mike Ventola with you as we're very excited to have Abby Silfies from the American Heart Association. She's the executive director and truly one of the biggest IronPigs fans I know. And Abby, first and foremost, how are you doing? And secondly, how have you and your family been doing throughout this quarantine process?
I am all right. I mean, we're on week, like 187. And I think now, like, we keep talking about what the new normal is going to look like. And I think we might already be here. This feels like it's the new normal. So I'm doing well. I really can't complain in this space. We're able to adapt and do our work from home. And so, I'm doing okay. My family, we need some changes of scenery. I have college students that are home that had to leave school early. I have one that just graduated virtually 2 weekends ago, which is unique and different. I have high schoolers that really need to see their friends. And I have an 11-year-old that thinks my driveway is getting smaller by the day. You can only do so much sidewalk chalk. The basketball hoop is only so much fun. And I have 3 acres, and that might not even seem large enough at this point in time. So we're working on it.
It's crazy. I'm sure, like you said, having to be home with your family, which is great. You're spending all this time that you would normally be, at work and doing all different sorts of different things that you normally do at the American Heart Association. So, it's amazing because I think about this process, talking to a lot of people that, are working in all different types of careers, but also the life version, your mom, you have 5 kids, and not only are you having to balance your work at the American Heart Association, but you have to balance being mom as well. So it's like you said, it's kind of been an interesting time.
It is. We talk all the time at the Heart Association about pivoting because we're in the events business, as you all are, in the entertainment industry per se in some ways. And with fundraising and putting on events, that has all changed completely. I was thinking of you when you were doing the virtual baseball games, and I was tuned in on a couple Friday nights and was watching, and I was like, this is going to be me in a couple months because we have like our Go Red for Women luncheon that always draws 300 people in Arts Quest and is an intimate VIP event, and now it's going to be a Zoom event at the end of June. And so I think we're all, pivot is my favorite word right now because boy are we learning to be a master at that.
What's amazing too is like you mentioned pivoting and and obviously everybody works hard and no matter what they do and trying to be the best that they possibly can be. But I feel like lots of people have had to dig deep down into the toolbox and thinking, okay, I normally would do this in this situation, but because of now we're stuck at home, have you been able to kind of whether encounter new skill sets or really improve upon some other skill sets that you have worked on throughout your career that you're thinking, man, now I've really had to kind of step it up here or really do different things in order to make certain things work?
Absolutely. On both the home front and the work front. At home, I'm learning to cook. I really am like, as much as I'm trying to find balance here. I've been kind of known for being out in the foodie scene for the last few years and really dedicated to our local restaurants. So I'm doing curbside 2 or 3 nights a week, and I'm trying not to hurt my children with my cooking on the other nights a week. And it's the same thing with work, right? So, and we're at work right now. I'm trying to, really leverage the relationships and the community partnerships that I've made over the years to try to figure out how we can be innovative together. We're looking at doing things differently than we ever have before. So if we're hosting a luncheon, normally I'd have a caterer or a restaurateur in the area who is facilitating that lunch. And now I'm trying to work with a local chef to use local products to do a cooking demonstration virtually. So it's like, I still want to be able to support those other businesses and we want to work together collaboratively, but we need to figure out what that looks like in this new day and age. So I think for me, the relationships I have in the community have been the biggest key component to how we're going to do business right now because we need to be able to work together. I love that I can hop on a call with you and say, what could we do in this space that shows that move more and healthy lifestyle and exercise and such are such key components to helping to prevent heart disease. So you are with an athletics team, and how can we use baseball players to show how you could do some simple exercises at home, and then we can share that with our, our followers. And so I think it's being creative and really working with those relationships that we already have in the community. Like, now's not the time to create necessarily brand new. It's the time to be innovative with this tools and skills we already have and figure out how we can create momentum with those.
And too, especially with everything that's going on with COVID-19 and what this disease has been doing to not only the community here in the Lehigh Valley, but all across the world as well. And, of course, for what you guys did, have been doing prior to this is, concerning the well-being of folks each and every day, of course, very much in your name, the Heart Association, but also carrying too the complete wellness and of taking care of everybody, make sure everyone's physically fit. So for all that's been going on too, have you guys been introduced to some certain things surrounding this coronavirus? Have you guys had your hand in it at all, or have you guys just kind of been?
Oh, absolutely. The American Heart Association nationally is doing a ton for COVID-19, and it's as simple as being a trusted voice for the public. Our heart.org website is full of up-to-date COVID-19 research and information. We also need to be that voice for people that are afraid. We're noticing that stroke victims and heart attack victims are not going to the hospitals as quickly as they should be. And so we're working with our local healthcare providers to ensure that people feel safe seeking help, because that is a very scary thing, that they're having these symptoms at home and they're not seeking medical attention. And so we need to be that trusted voice. We also are supporting researchers. We did a grant for $2.5 million, I believe, as a rapid response fund, where different hospitals, and I believe that it was 75 different hospitals that were rewarded money from the American Heart Association to continue their research on COVID-19. And then we also are working with frontline healthcare workers to help ensure their safety, as we see that there's a direct correspondence between COVID-19 and cardiovascular health. So the AHA has actually done an incredible job, I believe, getting in front of COVID-19 and taking our part in it.
Which is great to know too, and because not only with your work with the American Heart Association as well too, Abby, is look, you're sporting a shirt that the IronPigs helped raise funds for COVID-19 for the local health networks here in the Lehigh Valley. So kind of bridging the gap to your relationship with the Lehigh Valley IronPigs. As I said at the beginning, you're a humongous fan, not only just personally, but of course there's the professional relationship as well too. And knowing that because of what you do, you get to get tied into both worlds, not only professionally, but personally as well too, knowing that you've been able to have a good relationship with the pigs. Can you think back to when you first started getting integrated with the IronPigs, what the relationship has meant to you?
I love local sports. I love Lehigh Valley, and I talk about moving here almost 20 years ago and what that looked like compared to what it looks like now. But the IronPigs have been such an incredible organization to work alongside, and I think that's important to say. You guys are always the facilitators of great partnerships, and I've sat at many roundtables with many organizations, and the IronPigs were the common denominator that brought us together. So I look at this slogan, this "in this together," and I feel like we've been that way since day one with the IronPigs. We've been able to work together and build together with the IronPigs in our community. The IronPigs is where I come together with my family and friends. I've been a season ticket holder. I've done lawn seats. I've done, the suites. It's a favorite place. My family is quick to be like, let's just go get aw shucks and watch a few innings of the game, and we buy tickets. So in this together stands for so much. It's this community partnerships. It's the ability that we come together in a workforce and a community. It's coming together as family and friends. And then now in this time that you guys are also part of the critical, togetherness that we need, where, like you said, bridging the gaps. Critical funding is needed at the AHA, critical funding is needed at LVHN and St. Luke's and all of our health partners right now, as we battle this unprecedented time. And so I appreciate that, I'll support with my shirt and things like that, because I appreciate the work that the IronPigs are doing to make sure they are frontline in assisting with those.
I know, because as fans are watching this, they see the IronPigs gear, they love it because it gives folks a realization that, this time, we would normally be at the ballpark, taking in a ball game and enjoying all the fun and festivities that surrounded at Coca-Cola Park. And speaking of fun, not to, keep things too serious here, Abby, I guess when you walk into the ballpark and when you get a moment, you stand there, you look around, where's your favorite place in the ballpark? These are some hard-hitting questions I have lined up here. If you could pick any place in the ballpark to sit and watch the game, where would that be?
So I have two complete opposite ones, and they're going to make you laugh. So I thoroughly enjoy the events that I get to attend in the dugout suites. There is nothing like being in the dugout suites, and you walk out, you feel like you're inside, and you feel like you're in an intimate area being hosted by someone, and you walk outside and you're literally right there, essentially on the field, and it's incredible. But I also love a blanket, a cold beer, and sitting on the lawn. And so those are like the opposite corners of the stadium, but I geek out over both of them.
I think
there's no bad seat.
No, you didn't mention a bad seat anywhere, and you kind of talked about the balance between the professional side of you and the the personal, the family fun side of you, and but to follow up with that, and you kind of hinted at it. So I guess when you're thirsty and you want to drink, the go-to drink's a beer at Coca-Cola Park.
It's all about balance, Mike. Yep. Balance. So, yes, I do walk for some drinkable calories, and, we do our healthy lifestyle at the AHA, and I promote that healthy lifestyle, but I do enjoy in my personal time, having a cold beverage at Coca-Cola Park.
It's great. So, you're drinking, having a good beer. Is there a go-to food item that you enjoy at the moment?
So anyone that knows me knows I love food. However, I also am a vegetarian. So the bacon bit may smell amazing, and I will purchase it for all of my children. However, I tend to go towards either aw shucks, or I love a good falafel. So the gyro stand is right up my alley. And let's be honest, those nachos are like, yep.
I think Alex Rivera, our director of food and beverage, I think he'll appreciate that, because I think that's one of his favorite items. It's funny too, because sometimes people mention, I like a hamburger, or I like a hot dog. It's nice to hear a little difference, the nachos, or like you said, the gyro and the aw shucks. But so far, when asking people, Abby, aw shucks has been the most popular item so far. I just think it's the seasoning they put on the corn.
So I had an interview the other day that I was doing with someone, and we were talking about the best things of the Lehigh Valley, and we were listing off like restaurants and things like that. And then we both at the exact same time went, oh, shucks. Like, it was just this, like, it was a moment. Like, and so, yes, we love to come watch baseball, but we do enjoy some of the added perks that can only be found there as well.
I know you've had relationships with a lot of the folks that have been, working with the IronPigs since day one. And, like anything else, sometimes people come and go, and, when you get a chance to meet some new people along the way. But with that as well, too, even if there may be some new people or some folks that had been there for a long time, the in-between inning promotions, you've seen some new things. You've seen some old stuff that we still got going on since day one. What's your favorite in-between inning promotion, whether it's pork race or t-shirt toss, when you were sitting out in, at the Capital Blue Cross lawn seating area, when you're out there, what do you enjoy most watching?
I mean, the race is always amazing, and I always play devil's advocate. So, like, when everyone around me is yelling ham bone, I'm, choosing somebody else 100% of the time. So I love the race, and I think it's amazing how everyone gets so excited about it and involved in it. But I will tell you, one of my favorite things is when you guys are involving kids. We've had, my youngest daughter's had the opportunity to come out and do some sort of balloon throw game or whatnot, but the looks on their faces, and they're so intimidated when they're coming out and going out onto the field, but then how rewarding it is for them. And I just love that community aspect that, the Iron Pigs is able to facilitate.
When the dust all settles and we finally get back to whether it's the old normal, a new normal, whatever the normal may be, honestly, what are you looking forward to most?
I would like to hug people. And so whatever that looks like, I am a hugger. I love to be around people. And so my kids don't want me to hug them anymore. They're over me. But A, I want to hug people, but B, I think it's just being around the people that make the Lehigh Valley what it is. I want to sit on the lawn with blankets, backing other people's blankets. And I don't care if it's 6 feet away or 2 feet away. I just want to feel that sense of camaraderie. I really just want to smile and laugh and do it where I can actually feel that come off of you and not through a computer screen. So I think it's just people. I miss people.
I'm right there with you, without question, right there with you. I think that's been without question, the hardest thing throughout this entire process is, like you said, not being able to have that, connection with people, whether it be, like you said, just giving them a hug, a handshake, or just even a simple high five. You know what I mean? Like, who knows if we can even do that stuff when this stuff is all said. It's crazy.
I will buy the cutest gloves in town if it means. You're a merch person.
Exactly. I was about to say, I'm going to let Mike Luciano, our director of merchandise, know now that he's on call to make Iron Pigs gloves, Iron Pigs mask, whatever it may take. So folks, get that simple high five.
And that may be what we have to do, but there's people like me who will buy them. I promise. I'm also waiting for the beer falafel in baseball. It doesn't quite go the same as beer bacon in baseball, but tell them there are some vegetarians out there.
I'll say, look, from the vegetarian vantage point, I feel like it'll be a good sell. So I'll pass that along to him. But Abby,
tell him the American Heart Association will promote if he puts healthy items on the shirt.
Because it's good for the heart, that good eating.
We might have to get rid of the beer then too.
Well, about that.
I like that part of the shirt.
I like balance. That too. I may with that. I even that point be like, I don't know about that. So. But Abby, thank you so much for joining me. It was a pleasure talking to you, and appreciate the work that you and the Heart Association, what you guys do each and every day, and especially to your love of the Iron Pigs. We see it and we appreciate it.
Well, we love baseball, and we'll be back. We will all be back sooner than later, I hope.
Perfect way to end it. That's Abby Silfies. I'm Mike Ventola. Iron Pigs fans. Till next time.